don't think it's sad. Look, they're in a war. Some horrible things happened on October 7th, as you know. It was a horrible, horrible thing. One of the worst I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of bad things in some president in terms of wars and potential wars.
That was Donald Trump asked once again if what's happening in Gaza genocide. And no, not only is he not going to call it a genocide, but he immediately started talking about October 7th once again, because he's seen some bad things. Well, actually, for once, we have something in common. I've seen some bad things in Gaza every day for literally years. I've seen bad things yesterday and the day before that. We'll see terrible things today. We'll see terrible things tomorrow, in no small part because Donald Trump does not give a damn about what happens to the people living there. And so we have this weird situation where Marjorie Greene is a warrior for stopping the genocide in Gaza, and Donald Trump is, whatever. October 7th happens. So, if some kids they're like trying to get some water from a stream and they get blown to bits, or if another 50 to 100 people get massacred trying to get flour again and again and again and again, who cares? October 7th. Just forget about the daily massacres, the repetitive, at this point, boring massacres. October 7th happens, so don't even worry about it. And to that injury, he'll also throw some insult, because as we showed you last week, he is now begging for you to thank him for the $60 million that we have given Gaza for food. He wants a thank you for that. Not only would it not be like his money that he would need a thank you for, what president has ever demanded a personal thank you, but also it didn't actually happen. It's not actually a thing. It's not $60 million. $30 million is in theory allocated for food aid, only $3 million. So 5% of what he claimed has actually been spent. And it's even worse than that, because the money was spent to go to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. That's that evangelical Christian Israeli like thing that's just set up to move Palestinians down into South Gaza. It is literally just a tool of the ethnic cleansing. And so, yeah, thank you, Trump, for funding a tiny bit of the aid. Thank you for providing the bait that's used to massacre Palestinians on a daily basis, including this weekend. Yes, thank you, Donald Trump. You're a humanitarian. Where is that Nobel Peace Prize? Why are they not showering him with accolades, JR?
It's how it works, bro. Listen. It's how it works. So they tested the waters already, and we've had decades of watching and expecting maybe them to do something about the murder of American children with our gun issues here in schools and in communities and in the streets and in their own homes. That was already done and tested, and the fact that enough representatives and senators and presidents just gave thoughts and prayers. Why would they expect the American people to care about all the visions and the videos and the disasters and the starvation, purposeful starvation of all these innocent folks? They don't expect them to care about that. Why? So he's emboldened. We talk about how criminals become emboldened if you don't punish them. We lacked the gumption to do that. So he's emboldened to continue his criminal activity. Support a guy who's a monster and a genocidal maniac because he's a sociopath. So as you mentioned, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the one person who's on this crusade to stop this. How much is he listening to Marjorie Taylor Greene right now? I'm just saying, so maybe enough people shouldn't maybe trust in people like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tucker Carlson to speak loudly enough for this guy to listen to them, because he's not effing listening to them. He doesn't care about anyone else. Now, these folks who say they're one time, how they have this opposition to him, but they agree with 99% of everything else he says. How about we shove them to the side and continue to focus on one thing, getting this sociopath out of our lives? Well, he's killing other people across the world, and he's focusing right now in our country as well. It's dangerous to allow this to go as long as possible. You have to speak clearly and effectively no matter what, all the time about this stuff. Because he speaks clearly and effectively how much he doesn't give an F about it. It's direct, it's one or the other, bro.
No, you're 100% right. And it's not a hypothetical thing that's life and death. These people are dying. They're dying right now with this food distribution plan, that when it was announced, people said this is what the result is going to be. It's not like what we are seeing is the point. The point is to lead to these sorts of situations. The point is to cull the population down to a more manageable figure, cram it into a more manageable geography in pursuit of the eventual wholesale theft of the entirety of the Gaza Strip. That's all that this is. Donald Trump just biding time. He's letting them do that. This is not some conspiracy theory. They are talking openly in the Israeli government about this, and this organization, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, is one of the chief tools for advancing that. And so, like, they're so happy with themselves. Mike Huckabee, he was talking about how it's so awesome. They've delivered more than 1 million meals a day, which I don't believe that they did that. But even if they did that, there are 2 million people approximately. Sorry, not as close to 2 million people as there were before the genocide, but there's still the better part of 2 million people. So that would be less than one half of a meal each day per person. They utterly decimated the prior aid distribution network that was far better capable of providing the aid. The only actual obstacle to doing that was that they were stopping the aid from coming in. At every step, Israel has been determining what, if anything, gets through and to where and to whom. And on that day that Mike Huckabee was so excited about this amazing feat, 92 Palestinians were killed that day. That was 3 days ago. So we're talking about Friday. 51 of them were waiting in line for food. 51 people were massacred on one day. I'm not like counting up all of the massacres. 51, and I know that like this is my small brain or whatever, but I made this point before. Like, spoiler alert. So like one of the pivotal things that's supposed to in the series Andor that's supposed to convince you, oh my God, these are monsters, was a situation that had less of a massacre than happens every single day. And Mike Huckabee's like, Israel's the best, they're so amazing. They're only massacring 4 dozen people waiting in line because of starvation every single day. And just think about the situation, we'll end on this. You're a parent right there. Your child has half the body weight they're supposed to have. Any day now, they could die. You have seen day after day after day, the people in line to get food are gunned down. They are murdered in cold blood by the IDF. And you have to go anyway because the alternative is watching your child starve to death in front of you. And Trump is asking for thanks, and Mike Huckabee is cheering the IDF on. And both of them are super religious people. Oh man, they love the Bible, they love Jesus. Oh, God is their best buddy or whatever, as they cheer on this continued mechanized murder.